Hello everyone, my name is ClickFlow and welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Thrive Guide. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm having a pretty good one so far. As you can see, we're starting off here in today's episode in the farmhouse that we have built. And on a previous live stream from the that I did just a couple of days ago, we were working a little bit on the storage system for the piglin bartering farm that we made in the last episode, and we ran all the way out of all of our iron. We used all of it for hoppers, and we don't have any more iron left. So I think today we are going to do something about that. I think today we are going to embark on building an iron farm. And so I'm pretty excited about that. We have some supplies here. I'm in the process of shearing some more sheep over there, so I will continue to do that to get some more wool. We're going to need a total of 20 beds, so I'll be gathering that up for a little bit. We're going to need a few hoppers, 9 hoppers. I told you I used all of the hoppers, but I had to go salvage some of the hoppers for this farm in particular. We're going to need a lot of stone and things to build with solid blocks. I brought some signs, and we're going to need some wood for some chests. And we also have some glass that we're going to need to use, as well as lava. We're going to need to use some of that. But the main mechanic we are going to be exploiting is using villagers. Because if you have seen in previous episodes off when we were doing those exploring, occasionally when we come into a village, you'll see a big, tall, burly looking guy that's called an iron golem, and they will spawn naturally as part of like the bodyguards for villagers. And when you kill those guys, they do drop iron, so they are a renewable source of iron. So if we can successfully create a scenario where there is a technical village, but any time an iron golem were to spawn, it were to go into our kill chamber, then we could harvest ourselves a renewable source of iron, which is definitely something that we need, and has been something that has been neglected for some time on the Bedrock edition. But with the 1.16 Nether update, they have fixed that and given the Bedrock edition the loving that it needs. And so we are going to go off and do some building for our iron farm. Now, one of there are some specifications that need to happen in order for a village to be considered a village in the game. One of the conditions is that there needs to be at least 10 villagers. So we are going to need to do some villager breeding to get enough villagers for them. And there also needs to be at least 20 beds. So beds will also make up the identity of the village, and that's why we are harvesting all these sheep to get beds, is because of that reason. And the other reason is that the other specification is that 75% of the villagers inside of your village do need to have worked at their workstation the day before, so that is important. And I think we're going to go ahead and make ourselves some fletching tables. Those are pretty cheap, and I don't plan on using these villagers to trade with or anything. I'm just going to be using it for iron. One of the considerations we also need to worry about is that this farm needs to be away from anything that villagers can link to that is outside of the farm. So it needs to be away from any of the other beds that we have in the world, like the bed up in our farmhouse. It needs to be away from any of these other workstations, like these guys' brewing stands and lecterns and stuff. It has to be at least 96 blocks away in the horizontal direction for the iron farm to work properly. So I'm thinking probably over on that island over there we can set it up. But I just got to make sure we check that it is over 96 blocks. So we're about -20 right here. If we fly over there, Yeah, that will be plenty. That is more than enough. So I think if we build the iron farm right over here, that will still be close enough that we can that we can come over here and AFK at the farm and gather a whole bunch of iron. But it'll also be far enough away from our base over there that we won't have to worry about the villagers getting confused with their workstations and such. So I'm going to go off camera and finish gathering off all of the materials that we're going to need for this farm, and then I'll meet you guys right back here so that we can start laying the foundation for our farm. Okay, we are back, and I think I have everything ready. As you can see, I have 20 beds here. We have a fair bit of glass for us to work with, and our hoppers, of course. We have a shulker box full of solid blocks to work with. We have some signs, some food, and I'll explain that in a bit. All of our fletching tables or workstations we'll need, and a couple of chests for storage. And I've come over here and I've taken out all these trees and cleared a bit of space for us to work. So I think this will be good. Ideally, you will want to build this farm in the lines with all of the chunks, and a chunk is just a 16 by 16 square that is that has been predetermined in the game code. It's how the game loads floats the terrain and such. I've been trying to download a few resource packs to help visualize the chunk borders, but in this new version I can't seem to get any of them to work on my machine. Every time I try and activate one, all of the terrain just goes blank and I can only see entities. So it's not working super well. If you guys know how to fix that, why don't you let me know down in the comments? I would love to hear that. But this is just a 16 by 16 farm. It's pretty small, and I think we'll lay the foundations of it here. I do have to give credit though. This is not my farm. I did not figure this out and do all the design work for it. It was designed by another fellow YouTuber named Silent Whisperer. I've already showcased a couple of his farms on this channel already, namely the Guardian farm. That was his original design that I had modified a little bit for our uses. So you'll definitely want to check out his channel for the full tutorial and full list of materials, and if he got it from another source, then definitely check him out for that. So we're gonna go 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 16, and then 16 in this direction as well. 1, 2, 3. Once we have this center marked out, now we are going to want to set up our collection mechanism. And for that, I'm going to grab 9 hoppers from in here. And I'm also going to grab our chests. They will be useful. And as you can see, this is a 2 by 2 area. We are going to need to make it a 3 by 3 area. I know it's not going to be centered perfectly, but it's just how it goes. You'll have to forgive me for that because the iron golems do have quite a large hitbox. So getting them to go down 2 at a time, you do need a 3 by 3 area. So it's going to be slightly off-centered, but the farm will be in this area, so that's perfectly fine. And we'll lay down our hoppers just like this. Except this one, that one's not supposed to be there. And we will put all of our hoppers, so perfect. All of our hoppers are now facing into this chest here. And of course we can and will in the fullness of time extend the storage down so it will hold a lot more items, because hopefully this should pump out a ton of items for us. Next thing I want to do is start building up our little glass chamber around here. This is going to be our kill chamber. that we are going to house all of our iron golems in so they can't escape. And we're going to want this to be 5 blocks off of the ground. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we place our solid block, and that's going to be where the base of our village is going to our village is going to be. And this platform is going to be the exact same dimensions as what we marked out before. So we can come out right here, this is the edge, and then come out over here to this corner, and you get the idea. We're just going to make a perimeter around here and then fill this in with our stone. As you can see, that is going to be the reason why we're going to want a lot of stone. And you can build this out of any solid block. It's not like you need to use stone. I might do stone and stone brick accents, but it's not too hard of a job, so it's just kind of a little bit grindy. So I'll cut away and do that, and I'll bring you guys back in once this part is done. Okay, so we've just finished the floor here, and as you can see, it is lined up perfectly with the border underneath us. So the next step we want to do is to come out and build a 2-high wall on all the sides here, and that's also not too difficult to get. So just 2-high wall just like this, going all the way around the perimeter, so our iron golems don't escape out the side. And I'll just throw that together really quick, and then we can start marking out our chambers for where the villagers are going to go. But basically we're just going to mark out a 9x9 area like this where the villagers will be going, but I'll get to that as soon as I finish laying out these walls. Alright, now that we have that wall that's going all the way around, now we are going to want to, like I said, build our little chambers for our villagers to be in. We are going to want to put in at least 20 villagers. Like I said earlier in the video, we only need 10 villagers to be considered a village and start producing iron golems. But if we put 20 villagers, we can produce twice as much of the iron golems. I don't believe you can just continue stacking like that, but it does work that if you do 20 of the villagers, you can increase the output of this farm by 50%. So that is fantastic. So we are going to go on 3 of these corners and put and place out a 9x9 area here that is going to be our placeholders for the villager cells. And in the center, that one right there, we're going to replace with a glass block. That is going to be necessary, so it's a transparent block underneath them. Honestly, villager mechanics are just really weird, and this just helps them link to their workstations better. And then next we're going to place some glass around these pods, and then the villagers are going to go right in there. We are going to place the workstations where these glass blocks are currently, but we will do that in a future time when we have all of our villagers here and we're starting to link them. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the rest of these pods in. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 8 villagers in this cell here, 8 villagers in that cell there, and then 4 villagers in this cell, and that will be all 20 of our villagers in their pods, and that will be how we do the system. So now comes the tedious part, honestly. We have to go get villagers and place them in there. And I think I am going to just go over there and let a couple of the villagers loose and then allow them to breed and get a couple of other villagers, and then I'll bring them over here, and then I'll start them doing their thing, and then I'll get all 20 of our villagers put into their pods. It's really not too difficult. I mean, it is a pain in the backside to work with villagers, but if you place like a button here and then have them pathfinding to a workstation, they'll just wander right into their cells of their own free accord. So I think that's what we are going to do. I probably won't film that just because it's really tedious, and I don't think it's strictly necessary for this tutorial. This video will probably already be long enough as is, without me without you having to watch all of my villager wrangling. So as fun as that might be, I think I'll cut it out of the recording. But like I said, it's not too difficult. Just dragging these guys with in a boat with a lead, and then getting them over there. After, of course, we kill the zombies that are trying to eat us. Anybody else? Ooh, it's like those guys want to play. Anyway. So I'm going to go. I'm going to cut away and do that and get all of those villagers over there, breeding those guys up, and then see if we can't get those villagers in their cells and start finishing the rest of our iron farm. We're about 50% of the way there, folks. All we got to do is get these villagers there, and then we got to install a few more things, and we should be getting a lot of iron from that thing pretty soon. Alright, welcome back. I have been doing a lot of moving these villagers around and such. As you can see, this is the little containment cell that I have been breeding all of the villagers up. And I tried to use this technique here, where I'm using the tables that they want to link to, and I put a button over here so that their own pathfinding will take them over here, and they'll walk right into their own cell. And it's been working pretty good so far. If we let all of these guys out, you can see that they will start pathfinding to their cells. See, that one already jumped in, and it does take these guys a minute, so don't get too frustrated over if they're not pathfinding immediately to their designated cells. This has taken me a good portion of time, honestly. This villager wrangling part is going to be the most strenuous, difficult part of this entire build. But I think it's worth it. Having a renewable source of iron that will just always be pumping out iron for us, that to me is a super attractive prospect. So I'm going to also kind of buff the sides of this thing so that they don't come out, just so it makes it easier for them to pathfind and they don't jump around and bounce around. I've already got 8 villagers in this cell here, and 8 villagers in this cell, plus a cat or 2. So it's just these 4 villagers left here. If we can just wait around, and they will just wander their way into there, and then we can finally get going on the next part of this farm. Perfect. Okay, we finally got them all. So let's clear out a little bit of room. And then one of the things you will want to do is to place a glass block over the top of them, so there is no way for those guys to escape. And these are villagers, so they should not despawn. So they should always be in the world. We don't have to worry about name tagging them or anything. We just name tagged our other villager because it was fun. So these guys should be good, and now we can go ahead and remove all of these things. Alright, that was kind of a pain in the backside, but it is done, and now we have all of our villagers in their little containment units. I'm gonna go ahead and open up these blocks just to make it easier for me to move around here. As you've noticed, I've kind of spammed torches literally all over the place because as I was working, I didn't want zombies to spawn during the night or anything unbeknownst to me. This is not necessary anymore. The only thing that is necessary is to put a torch next to their cells. So you can put a torch on the side just like that. And that is all we will need for this farm. All of these other torches are not necessary anymore because we will be flooding this entire area with water. So now we can go around on the outside and clean up all of these torches. One of the last things we are going to need to do is place water at their feet. This is a necessary part because for whatever reason Bedrock Edition makes it so that they will unlink and relink to their workstations repeatedly, and that will hurt the rates of our iron farm if we don't have some water at their feet. I don't quite understand it. It's just something to do in the code with their pathfinding and such. So we can just take out one block at their feet and then place a water. This is going to be kind of tricky. You know what we can do? We can redstone this because I am sick of sitting here and clicking a button. We can take a dispenser just like this. I'm going to take out this block as well and place that dispenser facing into them. Then we can place the water bucket in there and then place a button right there, and that places the water. So that was a little bit roundabout, but you get the idea. It's not too difficult. And then we can remove that and then place the block of glass back there, and that is perfect. Now that they are standing in that water, that will allow them to never unlink from their workstations. Now we're going to try the same thing with these guys. Now we can place the water at their feet like that, and then the glass block back. Perfect. These guys are going to make it nice and easy for us. Perfect. Now those cats are just going to be irritating. They're not necessarily going to be bad for the farm. We can do this and try and let them come out of the farm on their own intent if we want to. Maybe we could go like this. Perfect. Just so the cats aren't messing around. Sorry, kitties. I love you, but you're going to be a nuisance to our farm. Sorry, kitties. Okay. Now, once all of this, as you can see, I've just been placing all the beds down so that I could get the villagers to breed and such. We are going to want to remove these guys and place them in their final position. So we want to dig all of them up just like this, and I'm just going to store them in the shulker box where I originally had them. Perfect. All 20 of those beds. So now we are going to want to break back through the ground and find exactly where our oh, right there, our drop chute is, because we want to now get out of here. So now we want to place all of our beds. So what we're going to do, I'm going to say, right, here is the front of our farm here, so I'm going to place it up there. We can go up 1, 2, 3, and then that is where we are going to be placing all of our beds. And so we can go ahead and just make this a 2 wide ring all the way around. And as you can see, if we pillar up here, that is going to be exactly the same dimensions as our drop chute there. Now we can start placing all of our beds. We're going to want to place all of our beds on this little ring, and this set of blocks is just temporary. So I'm going to dump a lot of these things that I don't need and put them away right now. Can put those back, and then now we're going to want to try and grab as many beds as we can. And if you notice from the beginning of the video, I have all of my beds white except for this one bed, and this bed is going to be the first bed we place down, and that is going to be what signifies the center of our village. And I just colored it purple so that we can always know what that one is, and we have to wait till these green particles show up. So we are going to have to do them one at a time, nice and slowly, and wait for all of them to have individual green particles. And that means that the villagers are accepting them and they are linking to those beds, and that is perfect. If they don't link and you place it down and they don't have any particles above them, just remove it and place it down again, and just keep re-rolling like that. But this is going perfectly so far. All of these guys have linked up, and so we'll keep going around. Perfect. Now we can place one right there, green particles. One right there, green particles. One right there, green particles. And one right there, green particles. That is perfect. All of these beds are properly linked, and as we can see, this is the center of our village. Now I am not going to sleep in any of these beds because I don't want to risk any of the villagers not linking to these beds anymore. So I'm going to dig up these temporary blocks. You don't have to have them anymore. And as you can see, we are getting a ton of cats now. Cats are a part of active villages. They will spawn pretty much constantly when you have enough beds and enough villagers. So that's just going to be part of it, and we will take care of them later. But before anything else, I think I'm going to go get some sleep in my own bed, and then we can continue the second layer of this farm. Okay, so now we are going to want a bunch of solid blocks, and we can start the second floor right above these beds here. This won't be that much of a hassle. These villagers are never going to actually sleep in this bed. In these beds, they're just going to be linked to those beds. So I'm going to go ahead and start our next platform right above them, being careful not to click on any of the beds myself because I don't want to risk unlinking any of these villagers to their beds. Alright folks, we are back, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and finished making up this platform. We only want to make one block tall around on this one, as well as putting this block in each of the corners. And I did go ahead and put bottom half slabs on basically everything that's in our perimeter. If we look down here, I did the same thing. We put bottom half slabs on all of these blocks around here so that they would not spawn anything. Bottom half slabs do not spawn anything really, so we don't have to worry about that. The next step we are going to want to do is now we want to link all of our villagers to their fletching tables or whatever block or workstation that you choose to do. And we're going to want to stand in this corner over here so that we can see everybody, and then we're going to place down one, and we can see that that guy linked over there. So if we break that up and we come over here, then we can place that workstation down there, and you can see that he is linked to there properly, so he will always work at that station there. Now if we place down another one, there's our next location over there. So we want to go over to this guy, break this, and then place workstation there, and you can see he's successfully linked to that. And we will make sure we want to replace the torches there. That is fantastic, and we're just going to continue to do that for all 20 of these guys and make sure that they are all linked up, and I will be back in just a second after I do that. Okay, I have successfully gone ahead and linked up every single one of these villagers to their individual workstations, so now they should never unlink. We should never see any other particles around here. And now we should start seeing our first iron golems spawning, and they will just kind of be in our way for right now, but that's not too big of a deal. We can just kind of work around them. Just make sure you don't hit them or anything. That would be a very bad end to your life, to your Minecraft career. So I'm just going to bust my way out of here. And the next thing I want to get really quick is our signs. So we made a whole bunch of signs here, and I'm going to take all of them, and then we're going to fly up here. I do need to make a correction to what I had done just previously. Oh, you can see that, our first iron golem right there. That means it's working. Yay! I do need to make a correction. We want our signs to be on top, one level up. So just like that, because we want them to be stopping the flow of water before they reach to this, not before they go down. So that is what we want, not what I said before. I apologize. Signs up there just like that. Oh yes, we have 2 iron golems. That means we are in business. It is working completely. Sorry, I just get super excited about that. We're going to want the exact same configuration of signs on this level as well, because we're going to be pushing these iron golems into our little hopper collection area using some water streams. And so we want to be able to stop the water so that it does not flow down with them. Before I close this off, actually, we do want another layer of 9 signs at eye level, just like this. And that will stop the killing mechanism from getting out. Oh, looks like I dropped some things. Perfect. Just like that. Then we're going to box that up, and later we're going to put one lava source. That's why I have that lava source there, right there, and that's going to be our lava blade, and that's going to be what actually kills them. So I can get back up here. The last thing, this farm is almost done, folks. The last thing we are going to want to do is place down our water sources. So what I am going to do is I'm going to place a block of water there and a block of water there, and that will create an infinite water source, so we can then pick up from in between those two and it will replenish that. Now we want to place water along all of the sides and right here as well, but do not put one right next to adjacent to these to this block here. That will make all of this an infinite water source, and there will be no flowing water. But you can just go like this all the way across, and it's gonna be a pretty easy day. Perfect. And as you can see, now this farm is 100% fully functional. And just to be safe, I'm going to break my way out this way because I do not want to anger any of the of those iron golems by mistake and get myself killed. This farm is 100% done, except for down at the bottom here where these two iron golems are. We now need to place a lava source that will then start to kill them, and then it will be producing continual iron for us. And I'm going to make a little poke hole right here and see if I can't reach. Looks like he doesn't want me to put that. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want me to put it either. And I'm just going to put it right there on the side. And you can see that is starting to kill that guy. Both of those guys, and they will eventually die fairly quickly. And then we have started to get iron and little poppies. That is fantastic. So we should now see quite a bit of iron coming down from this and being renewably farmed. Also, these cats, I know they are so cute and we love them, but they will hurt the rates of our farm, so I'm going to put some campfires over the top of these hoppers, and that will take care of the cats. So that is not too big of a deal. But I think that is going to be all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this look into making an iron farm in your Bedrock worlds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe for some more content. My name has been ClickFlow, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.